Minnesota Vikings offensive line has been much maligned, and coming into this offseason, Kwesi and the Vikings should have and could have added some depth, added some competitive pieces that could potentially supplant some of the incumbents, but knocking on all the wood, Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi and offensive line coach Chris Cooper were betting on health and continuity, but that got tested very early, and Kirk Cousins, who had a career high in sacks and pressures last season, could be approaching new career highs this year. He's already been sacked 8 times, including 4 times against the Chargers, who, coming into the game, were the worst defense in the league. No big deal. But when it comes to talking about what changes need to be made along the offensive line, it really does start and end with right guard Ed Ingram. Last year's second-round pick, the pride of LSU, did not have a very good rookie season. It got better towards the end, but this year it's just started off completely flat, and he's been a major reason why the Vikings have had offensive line issues. They came in with the league low number of rushing yards through 2 weeks, and then on Sunday against the Chargers, even though, yes, they got it going on the ground, which is great, the protection around Kirk was not good. By the way, it's amazing with this offensive line that Kirk is still leading the league in passing yards and JJ is leading the league in receiving yards. It's an anomaly, man. It's absolutely crazy. But one of the quick fix solutions for the offensive line was signing Dalton Risner to a 1-year, $4 million deal, the top free agent guard out there. And should the Vikings have signed him and when he visited mid-training camp? Yes. He potentially could have started these first 3 games, and maybe the Vikings aren't 0-3 because maybe the offensive line gets sutured up. Who knows? Who really knows? But that's what it comes down to right now. And the Vikings 100% need to bench Ed Ingram and start Dalton Risner. And I frankly don't care what the combination would be. If you're just going to plug in Dalton Risner at right guard, keep Ezra Cleveland at left guard, I'm perfectly fine with that. If you want to keep Risner at left guard, the position that he's played for the first 4 years of his career in Denver, and then switch Ezra over to right guard, even though swapping sides is really tough to do. Ezra did start off as a right guard in 2020 as a rookie. So, I don't care. I do not care because Garrett Bradbury's out with that back injury. Austin Schlutman has been fine. Darisaw is a stud when he's healthy. Brian O'Neill's still one of the best in the business at right tackle. Ezra has been fine and improving, and Ed Ingram has just been he's been the spot along the offensive line. And you'll see it. Like, defensive coordinators know it, and they do scheme their way into with stunts and games and whatever to get Ingram isolated. And so far this year, Ed Ingram has a 49 PFF grade through 2 weeks, which is 57th out of 72 qualifying guards in the league. He has 1 forced fumble. And then Sunday allowed 2 sacks, also had a penalty, plus had a quick pressure that led to an intentional grounding call on Kirk Cousins. So it was clear that the Chargers, who again were the worst defense in the National Football League coming in, were targeting 67, and they got after it, and they were able to make some hay in that regard. So yeah, it's time. It is time. So, Ed Ingram, maybe he could pan out to be a decent starting guard in the league, but he needs to catch his breath right now. Like, he needs a break because, it's really tough right now. And you did not pay Dalton Risner $4 million to be a backup. I understand it. His first week in the building, first 3 practices, you didn't want to roll him out. But next week, there's no excuses because against Carolina, week 4, that's the season. It is. If the Vikings start at 0-4, might be all she wrote. So just getting that first crooked number in the win column would be important. And the major step to do it is by starting Dalton Risner. Because otherwise, what's the point? Why did you sign him? Like, if you're just going to let him sit and be, the backup behind Ezra and Ingram, why did you even sign him? All right, so get him up to speed as much as you could. And hell, frankly, This is a little bit hyperbolic, but it's also not. I frankly would have started Dalton Risner on 0 practice over Ed Ingram. Like, I don't even care if he knows the plays. Like, I don't even care if he doesn't know the guy next to him, even though he does know Schlutman from Denver. Don't care at this point. But again, this can't continue. Like, it's almost like they take for granted that Kirk Cousins has been insanely durable throughout his NFL career, knocking on all the wood. But the punishment that he's taking, it's ridiculous. And also the fact that he is still thriving, the fact that Kirk Cousins is still putting up great numbers and putting up points, and it's pretty insane. It really is, considering how bad this offensive line has been. But enough talk. We need action. Bench Ed Ingram, start Dalton Risner, and that's the bottom line, because season is online on Sunday, man. But that's it. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.